Hello, good people. This is Avril Hatala, and today's inward portrait is all about Tamron Hall. Tamron was born in Luland, Texas on September the 16th, 1970, to her 19-year-old mother, Mary. She was raised by her mother and her stepfather, Clarence, who is 25 years older than Mary. Mary is Clarence's third and last wife. Iowa Johnson was Tamra's idol growing up. Iowa was the first black woman to anchor the news in Texas. Clarence teased Tamra that if she got her grades up, she could be like her. Tamron grew up in Mississippi, where her parents had high expectations of her. When she wanted to run track, she had to make nationals. When she started playing clarinet, she had to be good enough to be first string. Mary and Clarence were building Tamra's confidence. It paid off because Tamron got her first job as a TV reporter before her college graduation from Temple University with the bachelor's degree of science and TV journalism. Tamron was on her way. She recalls being 4 years old when the midwife, Mama Susie, who delivered Tamron, was 100 years old. Tamron preferred talking to Mama Susie, who was still alive when Tamra was in her 20s. To this day, Tamron still has friends from when she was 4 years old. Tamron's passion project is domestic violence. She supports the workers that gets calls from women all over the country seeking assistance. Through Safe Horizon, Tamron Renata Fund started in 2016. Tamron donates her money, her voice, and her time. So when you see Tamron's finger painted purple in the month of October, you know why. It's domestic violence awareness. Tamron has made it her mission to help these women because her stepsister was a victim of domestic violence, not in one but several different relationships. It was swept under the rug for years. Her sister Renata would crash at various family members' homes or borrow money when asked, but no one really sat her down and tried to get a concrete plan for her to exit these violent relationships. Tamron was the golden child, and her sister was in her shadows. Somewhere along the line of Tamron's success, her sister fell behind. Renata was murdered in 2004. She was beaten to death. To this day, no one has been charged. Tamron is now determined to right this wrong and help others. The two-time Emmy Award-winning Tamron Hall had 3 on-air jobs in 2014. She co-hosts MSNBC News Nation, hosted Deadline Crime with Tamron Hall on Investigation Discovery, and she was the first black woman to co-anchor Today. Tamron was shining so bright. Today's Take, where Tamron was a host with Al Roker, went #1 at NBC for 7 consecutive weeks. Sadly, the show was replaced by Megyn Kelly. The network claimed that Tamron didn't renew her contract in time. Well, it's hard to renew your contract when you're still in negotiations. In 2019, 2 years after the ordeal, Tamron said that her contract left her with only one option. That would have her working on a totally different area of NBC, essentially dimming her light so others less bright can shine. Tamron didn't want to be buried behind a news desk or be a hidden gem working in the dark to help others. She didn't want to be invisible. She chose to leave the network altogether in the form of "fire me so I can move on." Tamron talked about how she replaced a black woman for a job on several occasions, the same black woman. She said that we felt so interchangeable, referring to women, more specifically black women. It crushed Tamron, the replacer, to be replaced. In 2016, Tamron had a breakthrough, both spiritually and career-wise. She went into the wilderness of Utah with Bear Grylls. That same year, she traveled to South Africa with hairstylist Nikki Walton, founder of Curly Nikki, who convinced Tamra to wear her actual hair. Tamra did, and she loved it. She embraced it because she looked beautiful, professional, and it gave her more time to focus on her love life. Also in 2016, her very close friend and pop star Prince died. The two would talk every morning for 3 hours. Prince would critique her hair and her wardrobe, which she loved. Tamra could recall him being in high spirits and not sick or anything out of the ordinary that day. So when it was said that he had a fentanyl overdose, it was hard for her to believe that. It was so bad for her that she went to therapy. Tamron dated politician Lawrence O'Donnell in 2011 for about a year. He was 59 to her 40. Lawrence previously dated Kerry Washington in 2008. Fun fact, Tamron and Kerry Washington are friends. In 1992, Tamron's college boyfriend was Jalen Rose. She said this about Jalen: "I got the haircut because my boyfriend at the time was in love with Anita Baker, and I was in love with him." She said, "And I cut my hair." This is pre-Halle Berry. "I was at Temple University and this man was obsessed. He was from DC, and you know DC brothers love the short hair." End quote. Tamron had been engaged several times before dating Stephen Greener. Stephen is a music executive. Tamron and Stephen were friends for years before deciding to tie the knot in 2019. Stephen also worked on Today, and they would see each other in passing, but when she got demoted, they kept their friendly banter going and it turned into something more, as they didn't see each other in a professional environment. Stephen is from the Bronx, and he asked her out for lunch in LA, where he casually requested, "Let's get married," to which Tamron said okay. Stephen is Jewish, and Tamron is Christian. Their son is named Moses, because it's the only prophet recognized by all religions. Tamron tried in vitro in her 30s, but it didn't work. She was single and wanted a baby. She tried IVF again, this time 2 months after dating her husband. She was 47. It took 2 rounds and it was successful. Their baby Moses was born in April 2019. It was the most grateful thing that ever happened to her after years of failed fertility treatments and trying. It finally happened for Tamron, who was 48 at the time Moses arrived. Her pregnancy demanded her secrecy, or as she would call it, privacy, in case it didn't work out. But as for the marriage not being revealed into the pregnancy announcement, that was due to her controlling the narrative reputation. She even kept the fact that they were dating from her mother by temporarily moving Stephen's clothes out of the home when the mother came to visit, citing that Stephen's just visiting. Tamron likens her relationship to Dolly Parton's, where her husband is in the background, not a celebrity couple. She takes this seriously and does not want it to be dissected. Tamron and Stephen have a pet bird named Jojo. Tamron left Today in 2017. She was offered plenty of less preferred jobs, some downright insulting. It took time, but she ultimately accepted the daytime show centered on her. The contract was with ABC, and in 2019, Tamron Hall's show was born. This time, she loved the terms and conditions. Tamron's net worth is $7 million. She earns $2 million per year as a TV journalist with 25 years in the industry. Tamron has a staff of 250 people working on her show. Majority are women, Black women, and other women of color. She recalls white women being less than supportive of her when they were in position to be so. The 2013 show, Being Mary Jane, which aired on BET, was based off of her life. Tamron wrote a fiction book called As the Wicked Watch, based on crimes and the life of a reporter in 2022. Tamron is an excellent conversationalist. She is present and wholesome. She's impressive and gives you the feeling that she's a lifelong friend with all the sophistication and homegrown values that make her your best girlfriend. Tamron, at 52 years old, literally has it all: successful career, married, a baby, and millions of dollars in the bank. She stayed true to herself and is proof that life can be full of surprises. Tamron has been public about her new family members once all things were certain. Her openness about her journey is awe-inspiring. Tamron keeps her fit body by kickboxing. It's so wonderful to see Tamron arrive at such a great place in her life. Hello good people, this is Avril Hatala, and I want to remind you that some things being shared in this video is under the Fair Use Copyright Act of 1976. The comments and opinion in this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only.